Today is Friday, January the 3rd, and the news was consumed with one thing today, and traders were waiting to see what the reaction would be to the overnight killing of the Iranian general. And the market, of course, opened down and just immediately popped up. Volume quite high in the Dow, particularly high in the NASDAQ, which we've seen for the last week, and same in the S&P 500 as it was in the Dow. Volume is important here because volume confirms that perhaps the worst of what we could expect after that news may have taken place in the markets. But no one wanted to go into the weekend into a position that was too exposed because we don't know what the reaction is going to be on the other side. Advancers fell behind decliners 2-1, so that takes the market breadth back down a little bit. Now we're starting to churn in this area, so it's really not telling us all that much. We turn to the S&P, and it looks something like this, which isn't all that bad. That was a convincing bounce back, and we're keeping above the 78.6%. Apple was down 280, could have been far worse, finished at the lower end of its range, but look at the volume. Volume was strong, as it has been for the last 4 days. But again, the damage was sustainable. If you're holding call spreads as I was, the damage was minimal. Caterpillar down $2, and because I'm still carrying the short calls of 135 short calls, and I've had them for a while now, and of course the stock is at 148. So I'm just eking out pennies as the weeks go by, getting ready for any major kind of a pullback, but still wanting to be part of the dividend. So when that comes up, ex-dividend in a couple of weeks, obviously I would lose my stock unless I do something defensively. So we're back into the channel again. Volume was not impressive in Caterpillar. So again, this is another stock that didn't get hurt too badly. Home Depot was down quite a bit, as you can see, and rebounded equally well on almost insignificant volume. Again, I've got the call verticals, 220, 225 of January or February, March actually. 225, 235 are the ones that I have left. And I'm going to need a lot of work to get done to make money there, but that's still a decent trade that after all this time is only down $80. AT&T, monster of a day because it's a 5.5% dividend stock, and that's where money goes when it's uncertain. It goes to some place where it knows it can get a payoff, and with today's interest rates the way they are, 5.25% is pretty darn good. We still have the longer term SMI, the SMI 40 moving up, and we have the SMI 12 coming down, and we might see some support soon, but we could still expect a little bit of downwards motion or channeling here in AT&T. WDC didn't finish off too badly, down $1, but nonetheless, you can see there's a recovery off its lows. And Whirlpool, which I said buy the dip on, I doubled my position there. So now I have 4 contracts, and they are the February 150, 160. So they're 49 days out, and I still feel that the stock is going to 150 and possibly higher. We're still going to build houses. Whirlpool still has the exclusive contract with D.R. Horton for all of their homes to install Whirlpool appliances. The economy over in the United States is still good. It's just a good stock to own, and I've got minimal exposure with only 4 of those contracts. And you can see that the 40 SMI is flattened out, but it's still generally in an upwards direction. And the 12 SMI, despite today, is also still in an upwards direction. Shopify down 223. I wouldn't do anything until we have a convincing move above 409. And Amazon took a beating today, but rebounded strongly off the 50. I almost stepped into some vertical spreads there, but I thought I'm going to wait and see what happens on the weekend. I added the Whirlpool spread, and that was about as much risk, minimal risk, but that was as much risk as I wanted to take today. Let's see what happens over the weekend, and let's see what happens Monday. We really can't say what will happen Monday. Monday should open higher unless there's some other kind of bad news. And I'm thinking there will be. Maybe not this weekend, but as you know, I'm still 50%. To be exact, I'm 52% cash. Have a good weekend.